Well, hey there, and welcome to episode 12, the Dirty Dozen. No, not dirty, the wonderful, the delightful dozen. We'll call it that. But episode 12 of Hearing Him First, and it is another casual Friday. I'm at home today. It's probably the nicest day of the year in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So blue skies, nice breeze, and I think we're going to be up in the 80s today. So I hope wherever you are watching this that you have nice weather. Maybe comment below. Let me know what the weather looks like where you are. And wanted to share with you today on this idea that I've called layering. And I've called it that for a little while. I think I stumbled into it about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, because I think it was about the time I started running. So I was living in West Virginia, and that would have been about 5 or 6 years ago. And the idea was I wanted to start running, but I didn't feel like I had enough time. And maybe you've had that before. Maybe it's an excuse, maybe it's legit, maybe it's somewhere in between. And I was also kind of beating myself up at the time because I was a senior pastor for the first time, and I was preaching a lot, but I wasn't listening to messages much. Previously, I had been an associate pastor in a large church. I would listen to my pastor at my church. I would listen to several other pastors and listen to a lot of sermons, maybe 3 or 4 a week. And I wasn't listening to sermons. I was also struggling with the fact that I was getting very little time alone. I was busy with a new staff, a new church. The family had moved from Wyoming, where we'd lived all our lives, to West Virginia. And, we were wanting to spend a lot of time together as a family. We have 4 boys. So there were just a number of challenges. And I knew I needed to do something for my physical health. I'd gained about 25 pounds in that transition. And so I remember thinking, wow, what if I ran? I started running, walking, run until you can't, walk until you can, that type of an idea. Do what you can while you can until you can do more. And so I got started, and I had the idea, what if I listened to sermons, listened to podcasts and so on while I ran? And then I realized, wow, I get some time alone, some quiet time with God while I'm running. So I layered 3 different needs that I had at the time into one activity. And this was brought back to mind when a friend from West Virginia was asking questions just to get things going on Facebook. And she asked, what's something you like to do in your spare time? And I said, I love to run. And I realized I don't actually love running. Like, running itself is not that great, but I love what I'm also doing while I'm running, which now is listening to podcasts, sermons, those types of things. So that's feeding me spiritually. I love where I am while I'm running because I love to be outside. Sioux Falls has a phenomenal trail system, so I can run along a river almost any time I want to. And I love how I feel afterwards, that sense of satisfaction. Endorphins are a real thing. So there were a number of things that I loved that were sort of ancillary to running, but they are a part of running. And so I love running because I love the way it makes me feel. I love the other things I get to do when I'm running, and I love where I am, and I love who I'm with. It's just me and God when I'm running. And so that's a powerful concept of layering. Another way that I've worked layering into my life is with commutes. I've got about a 15-minute commute from my house to the church, and I use that commute to listen to audiobooks. I can listen to 1 or 2 audiobooks a month just if I'm driving back and forth from work, and listen to an audiobook. And so I've got a CD player in my car, and I pop CDs in and I listen to audiobooks, and that gets me an extra, I guess, between 12 and 15 books a year usually. Another thing that I'll do is if it's time to leave the office and I need to make a few phone calls still, I'll go ahead and leave the office and use that time. I'll layer an activity in to use that time from the church home, or sometimes in the morning I call a good friend of mine, and that gives us an opportunity to talk. So I'm not taking away time from home, and I'm not taking away time from work. I'm using that time in between the two strategically. So those are a number of different ways of layering. I'd love to hear if there are ways that you've found to layer 1 or 2 or 3 or more activities that you really value into one thing. and one block of time. So comment below, share this with a friend, subscribe, go to youtube.com, just search in the search bar for Hearing Him First, and you can click subscribe there, and that way you'll be able to catch all these videos in one spot. And if you miss one, you can go back and find it. If you want to share one specifically with a friend, you can do that. And that's all I got for today. So God bless you. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Friday or whatever day it is. And I hope that this has been helpful to you to maybe hit the reset, to hear God first, to find ways that you can engage your personal spiritual practices in your everyday life and retune and reset your antenna to hear God's voice. God bless you. Have a great day.